Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to come on today. I'm about to show you how you can keep your prospect lead list warm and keep them in your pipeline until they are ready to buy. Most people completely forget about their new leads, especially the ones you meet when your boots on the ground and networking. And then you get a stack of business cards and you forget to follow up. Or you're sending a single message. Hey, I met you at such and such, let's connect. And then that's the end of the conversation. And if you're doing those things, then you are gambling on if they are even seeing your message. What if it got buried in a bunch of emails? Or you are gambling on if they had time and energy to respond to that one email. So they fall off and they don't stay in your pipeline. And there's a way to avoid that. So we are going to talk about my number one strategy. There's 7 different techniques to use to keep prospects warm. And we go through all of them in our program for the Midas method of success. But today I'm going to be sharing just one because 7 is a lot to go through and we only have a few minutes together. And this is one that you could implement right away. It's free. It's done for you, almost done for you. We are going to use ChatGPT because I love my AI tools. So we are definitely going to be jumping into that. And when we get through that, I will then show you how to implement them into our automation system so that you can follow up on automagically, as they say. So let's get started. We're going to jump into my favorite way of keeping your prospects warm. And that is, drum roll please, a newsletter. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Newsletter. Oh my gosh, we all get them and they're pointless. They don't have any value and things like that. I get it. We're not talking about the newsletters that don't have value. We're talking about newsletters that do have value, that create a sense of care and a sense of value and a sense of to the prospect that you understand them and who they are. If your business has an ideal client, ideal market, you should be speaking directly to them. You want those people to stay in your pipeline. And if they aren't a good fit for your business, then you want them to fall off, right? So we want to weed out the non-ideal clients because email marketing costs money. And so you don't want to be spending your precious marketing dollars sending out emails to people who will never buy. So it's a good thing when those who don't resonate fall off. So we want to keep those who do resonate, which means you need to have a way to connect with them with an emotionally charged piece of content every week or every month, depending on what your business model decides. So, newsletter. It's that buzzword that simply means providing value on a consistent basis. So, how do you provide that value? Well, first you have to understand your target audience. Who are they and what do they really want to hear? You could identify that by thinking about their pain points. What is it that's really challenging them? Are they, and this is on the negative side, but you want to think about the problems. Are they demotivated? Are they struggling with their health? Are they lacking motivation? Are they financially unwise? Are they, unhealthy? Are they making bad choices with their food or their mindset? What are the challenges that they're facing? And then what are your solutions to solve them? Now, the key to newsletters, because you don't want to hurt your bottom line, you want to keep them in, is to utilize ideas and value add pieces that show your expertise and your niche in the market that they could get elsewhere. I know that sounds a little odd, but think about it. If I can Google ways to lose weight and get a bunch of resources, I could do that research. Or my favorite fitness instructor could drop it in my email inbox once a week. And now I'm always thinking about that person as my go-to health expert. Okay. If I'm interested in robotics and I'm trying to learn how to do all those things, my son was doing robotics a few weeks ago. And I want to understand all the pieces and parts and things I can do with robotic creations. I can Google that, how to build a basic robot, how to use a BlackBerry, I think is what it's called, or something like that. I don't know all the terminology. but he does. He can Google that and he can get a list of resources, especially with something like Perplexity AI. But if there is a kids program that specializes in robotics, I want that in my inbox telling me, hey, we're building this robotics this weekend, or hey, our big camp is coming up, or hey, did you know that this technology, or if you combine the wires in this way, little pieces of value that I can be like, ooh, son, Michael, come here, and have him read it, and it's top of my inbox because it's relevant and it talks to exactly what I'm looking for. My challenge, right? So your newsletter is not news, it's value based on what your clients really need. So now let's jump in and let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to jump into chat. I have been working in ChatGPT this morning, and so I have hit my free plan for 4.0. You'll see this little disclaimer. You can purchase 4.0 unlimited or a higher limit for $20 a month. I typically just move on to another task until it resets. So we're going to be using another model, which is probably 3.5 or GPT 4.0, which is different than 4.0. 4.0 is for Omni. And we're going to create some newsletter content. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you one that I've built for time. Newsletter content ideas. And let me show you what I've done. This one was created with 4.0. All right. So one thing that you'll see I did not do with this prompt is I didn't tell it to act as a marketing specialist. I could. Actually, I would not use that role. Let me back up. I would actually use an industry expert. So act as a holistic healer specializing in meditation and sound journeys. In this case, I just told it who I was, so that would help target it. It's kind of like the role. It's a variation of using the concept of role in your prompt. But the important thing is I want to send a weekly newsletter, and it needs to be helpful, relevant, and of value. Those are the three pieces that this newsletter needs to have: helpful, relevant, and of value. Okay, maybe you want something that's inspirational, motivational, tips and tricks and strategies. Let's see if I can find another one to give you another example. That's a presentation one. Let's see if this is one. That is an email marketing for an event coming up. Oh, this one might work. Okay, so this is what I call pre-prompting, where I want it to pull up the information that I want to share. So I kind of describe, what I'm looking for, what my task is, and I let it create all of the content first, because then, if I remember correctly, this is where I was writing a video script. But instead of a video script, I can create a newsletter from this. I could say, these are awesome. Please write me 3 newsletters for each topic, or write me tips and strategies for these things that encourages them to get back to nature. Let me see if I can find a couple more examples. All right. Not seeing anything that resonates that off the top of my head. So let's build one really quickly. All right. So we're going to keep it super simple. I want to send a newsletter to my leads to keep them warm. Okay. Now we're going to describe your industry. So I am a dentist. I am a massage therapist. I am an auto mechanic, whatever those things. Let's do that one. I am an automobile mechanic and want to provide. Okay, so now this is, and you could be more specific about your automobile, about your industry. I can add how much experience, the specific models I work on, the whether I work on high end or low end, whether I specialize in basic maintenance or full repair. Am I a body shop? So you could be a lot more specific. We're going to keep it kind of general just to see what it comes up with. Now, want to provide. Here's where you decide what qualities you want your newsletter to provide. So for this one, I don't really need it to be inspirational or motivational. This is an auto mechanic. I want it to be practical advice. I want to provide practical advice about car maintenance. I always have trouble with that word. There we go. Okay, practical advice about car maintenance. Tips for keeping your vehicle in good working condition. We can add a whole bunch of stuff. Strategies for extending the life of car parts, such as tires, transmission, and what's something else that wears out quickly? Brakes. And other helpful and actionable tips, strategies, and advice about car maintenance. Okay, now let's break this down. I am being super specific that I am providing the value that my clients want. They want to keep their car out of the shop, right? That's the goal. Who says, yay, I get to take my car to the mechanic today? Okay, nobody. So we want to provide and mitigate that challenge so that when they do need help, when they do need to see a mechanic, they have top of mind, oh my gosh, Johnny's Mechanic Shop is always there for me. Johnny's Mechanic Shop knows what they're talking about, and you stay top of mind. That is the hardest part about being a business owner, is staying top of mind. So when they are ready to buy, they think of you first. So now we're going to move to output. So suggest a list of ideas I can use in my email newsletter. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we have our prompt. It's going to give me all these different things. From here, I then just need to decide what resonates, what works, and then I can ask it to create the emails. And this is something that we've done often. So you've seen our previous videos. You know that creating the emails with an AI tool is super easy. It's as easy as saying, I love this. Let's create the emails. I love this. Let's create an email. Let's create the email newsletters. Mix and match. Okay, let's see. I want to say create a combine. Trying to decide how to tell it to mix and match all the pieces, because I've had some hit or miss when it comes to like saying the words mix and match. So I'm going to tell it specifically, you have many different categories of ideas. I love them all. Mix them up to create a sequence of emails that have a variety of ideas in them over time. I do not want, let's just scroll up and say 3 emails back to back, all about general maintenance. go ahead and create the, let's see, 20 emails. Okay. Now let's break this down. We're complementing it. That tells the AI to dedicate more tokens to you, which is what's required to create a better result. And then we're being very specific by identifying that it has different categories, and I want them to mix up the categories. And then I'm clarifying I do not want them back to back. I want them mixed up. So I'm giving them an example of those three. Okay, so this is how we're creating this awesome value-added email newsletter. Okay, so now it's going to write these. Remember, our job is to read through this and make sure it resonates and it matches your vibe, your tone, your style. And you'll notice that it only created the subject line and the content. That's not enough. I actually want the whole email. So I'm going to do a reiteration, and I'm first going to compliment it. This is great. Thank you. But I really need the full email. Please write each email newsletter in full. Okay, so now we have what we need. Dear so-and-so, da-da-da-da-da-da. And so now we can see this and we can decide, oh, this looks like a December newsletter. So we probably need to put this, well, depending on where you are. If you're up north, probably September is when to put this out. If you're in Texas like us, we're still not cold enough to even need to be doing anything about freezing or winter. All right, so now that we have all of that, let me jump into the system, the automation system. We are resellers of high level. And so we utilize that automation system to put our business on autopilot. So I'm just going to quickly, with our last few minutes, show you where to find all of your email marketing. All right. Oh no, I pushed the X button. That's unfortunate. It lagged. Oh, the joys of being live. Just a second. So we'll go through and read all of these, like I said, and then we'll change anything. If you don't like what's being written, you want them longer, shorter, you want an image suggestion, you can put all of those things into your prompt and ask it for that. All right, we're almost back in business. All right. Okay, wait for it to load. Make sure I don't accidentally hit the X button again. All right, all of your emails are located in marketing. And you'll click